Okay, Mike Masato, CEO of Staff Driven Dental and the Dental Road Warrior, returning for episode 60 in the series. Always looking for inspiration for new topics when I'm out on the road. And today I had a meeting which kind of inspired me to talk about this subject. And I want to reference a philosophical topic today, something about called the Great Law, or something that's known as in the universe as the Great Law of Returning. This is a karmic thing. It's been around for thousands and thousands of years. I don't know if anybody remembers this. Several years back, there was a big craze on a book called The Secret. And if you remember, the big secret was in the book that everybody was so into. Go figure. Well, you kind of get what you put out. So if you're a certain way and you put out negativity and scarcity and bad energy and not a lot of positive stuff, you're not going to get a lot of positive return. But if you put out nothing but positive, and you continue to work to put out more positive energy from yourself and create a more positive environment around yourself, at home or work or whatever in your life, more positive things, you're more than likely to attract that kind of positive stuff back. Because doctors always ask him, I don't understand why this is all happening to me. Why are things so negative? Why are things so bad? Well, I always talk about, hey, it's no secret to me, it hasn't been a secret to me, that if you walk around in life being, a miserable SOB, guess what's going to happen? You ain't going to attract too many people that are going to make your life better and make your life happier. So to tap into this whole thing, it starts and ends with changing yourself, right? And we're often blind to that. We're often blind to how we occur to other people. How do people experience us? And it's an interesting assessment for me. As a dentist, it's really easy when a patient sits in your chair and opens their mouth. It doesn't take you long to figure out what's going on. If you've seen it 10,000 times in your life and they open their mouth, you take a look, you're like, oh, I know what that is, but it's by the smell of it. You can tell what it is because, again, why? You've seen it and diagnosed it thousands of times. You won't need your diagnostic work, your x-rays or, whatever you're going to do with them, even though you will, because you have to figure out what's going on. All right? Because it's a skill, a perceptive skill that you've picked up, diagnostic skill you've picked up and developed over the years through experience. Well, guess what? Picking up people's energy and how they are and how they carry themselves and what's going on with human beings. And human beings are a complicated bunch, as you may have figured out. And if you haven't figured out that human beings are complicated and difficult to figure out in life, you're definitely going down a bad road yourself. So it behooves you in this day and age and in life to get a better understanding of how people work and how people tick. I made a career in coaching dental clients, not just by giving them the best scripts and the how-tos to be successful in business. It's really about how to be successful in life, how to become better individuals and better people in relationship to others around them. Right? That's a good starting point. I know a lot of, like I said, great clinical dentists, that are struggling in life because they don't get what's missing is what's going on with themselves, on a mental, emotional, spiritual level that's dragging them down. And again, one of the techniques doctors seem to be lacking out, or they have a blind spot on, that it just seems to get worse every year, is the ability to attract and bring in great people around them. Because I've heard, dozens and dozens of times in my years of training, oh, Mike, it's so hard to find good people. What are the doctor telling me when they say that they're so hard to find good? There are nothing but great people out there. Believe me, you just have to know to attract them. Most of my clients have great people working for them now. That doesn't mean they came out of the box that way, or it was that way when we first started with them. But when they shifted how they were being about what they were doing, and how they shifted their energy and their approach, and they became happier, more successful, better intentioned people, and other areas of development with themselves. Guess what happened? They started to open themselves up to allow those kind of people in their life, and people that want to stay around that energy. They don't want to stay around miserable people. Go figure. It was no secret to me, as I said, when this book came out, The Secret, years ago. All right, as I said before, if you're a miserable person, guess what's going to happen? You're going to attract more misery around you at this point. So part of my goal with coaching and my coaches to go in there and to give people a better life in practice is make them happier. You can't put a dollar value on being happier and more fulfilled, and enjoying to go to work and, having a positive environment to go into. I mean, why do people not go to the dentist? They expect it to be a negative experience. pain and suffering and misery and just a horrible experience. Well, we can shift that perception by how we have the energy we create in our office. I can walk into an office and I can tell right away, what's going on there in terms of how successful and productive they're going to be just by the energy of the place. I can pick that up because I've been around it thousands and thousands of times. Sometimes you walk into an office and the tension is so thick you can cut it with a knife. Or you just know there's dysfunction in the environment just by the way people are treating you when you walk in as a guest into the office. Right? That radiates from a practice. That radiates from phone calls and interactions with individuals and everything else. So again, as a team, if we're not in a good place, Doc, if you're not in a good place on this level, it doesn't. All the training in the world is not going to matter. Give me the script for that. Give me the system for that. Give me the next big new patient marketing idea. Yeah, that's great. Why don't you think you retain patients? See many practices when I'm getting 20, 30, 40 new patients a month. And do the analysis and not there 6 months, a year later. What happened? Was it the dentistry was crappy? Usually that's not the case. It wasn't crappy dentistry. It was a crappy experience. Or maybe they didn't like the people that were there. They didn't like you. They didn't want to be around you as a person. I know this is the harsh reality, hearing this kind of stuff. But that might be the case. And a truly advanced individual can take that kind of coaching. They can hear someone like me say, hey, Doc, it's time to take a look in the mirror and look at yourself and how you're being, all right? Because that's going to make a big shift in what you attract in your life in terms of people that are around you. So until you get that skill, this is where I intervene on a lot of levels with my staff to help recruit, integrate, and great people. Because you don't want to invest in people training. A lot of doctors don't want to invest money in people because they don't think they have good people. Well, if you don't think they have good people, first, step one, take a look at yourself and what you're attracting and how you attract them every day, and then go from there. That's the first step, right? And then learn how to attract and good people by recruiting them a certain way. We don't know how to hire, integrate, apprentice new staff. That's something that I get into. It's not just run an ad. Oh, you're hired. You got a resume. I never hire a resume. There's more to it than that, right? But again, if you don't have great staff, I named my company Staff Driven Dental for a reason, because they make or break you every single day. And I'm going to reiterate this topic time and time again in some fashion or another in all these episodes, because every dollar flows through them. True or false, right? Every dollar flows through every member of the staff all the time. So if you want to be successful, you better have good people interacting with your patients at every step of the way, Doc, and yourself as well. And this is where it's important. It's not just all about the money. Bringing someone like me into your life to help you with your practice or a coach money's great. Don't get me wrong. We'd all like to make more money. But there are many things that have to occur. A lot of shifts, a lot of changes that need to occur within yourself. And that's what coaching does. It holds that mirror of self-analysis up to you and say, take a look. And this is where you may have a blind spot to how you are that's holding you back. And when you're open, and believe me, their life will open up and change like you have no idea. And things will start getting better in your environment when you shift who you are as a person. Right? Because again, going back to the great law, the law of returning, you get what you put out. So take a hard look, take a step back, and assess what's going on with my life in practice or my life in general. What's happening? And if it's not fulfilling and not happy, look at who you're surrounding yourself with. Look at who you're attracting. Maybe it's something you're doing or that you don't even. Most people were, and again, it's not easy always to see this. That's why outside coaching helps, because you never see yourself as other people see you, and that's why it's good. The coaching helps you take a look at this kind of stuff, and improve and change. Because to what detriment is it costing you not knowing what you don't know about yourself? And it's just like not knowing what you don't know about your practice. Not knowing what you don't know about yourself is a big thing that may be holding you back. And that's where it starts. So like I said before, it's not a secret, this great law of returning. It's not. But once you tap into it and you understand how it works, right? And it starts and ends with you. You talk about freedom. You talk about having a better life. That's the surefire way to get you on that path to having it. All right. So again, a little philosophical today, but useful, and this is something to be applied. Not saying that was very inspiring. This is to be applied. Utilize this to get on the path to making changes in yourself and to attract a better life in practice. All right. Thanks for watching, and I hope you share this if you are enjoying the series. And I'll be back before you know with another episode.